jungle.
You're listening to Drunk with Questions Sports. All topics on and off the field.
We're providing fan-driven conversation about anything sports. Join us on our journey into insanity as our favorite teams slowly but surely break our souls.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Drunk with Questions Sports. What a week we had last week, right, Raj?
Oh my goodness. We had some very interesting games. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to college football. We have top-ranked teams getting absolutely shellacked by these unknown names for a lot of people, but you know what? That's what college sports is. You can never guarantee something, and as a Michigan fan, I felt that pain. And I talked to Gooch last week, and I told him, hey, if you sleep on Appalachian State, they're gonna come in and they're gonna hurt you. And guess what? They did. They really did. I mean, Marshall was unexpected for me, but my God, guys, we had some great games. If you like just watching the underdogs, some David and Goliath stories, man, last week was it for you.
Yeah, so let's talk about Appalachian State kicking Tamu's behind.
Tamu. It's such a stupid name, dude. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Appalachian State beat Texas A&M. So unranked Appalachian State, they're 1-1. This is the same Appalachian team that almost beat North Carolina last week. So I mean, I told Mike at the beginning of last week, this is not a team that's going to just give up. Because to put 63 points down, I mean, they were serious contenders. Their defense was garbage for the most part, but I mean, they seem to have cleaned it up for this game because Texas A&M came in and actually, Appalachian State came into Texas A&M away team.
Yeah,
they came in as the away team and beat them 17-14.
Yeah, so Appalachian State 315 total yards to Texas A&M's 186.
Jesus, I mean, you could just look at the passing. Okay, so Appalachian State. C. Bryce, he had 15 of 30 for 134 yards on a touchdown. Yep. King for A&M had 13 for 20, 97 yards, no touchdowns. None. They couldn't pass on these guys. Their best receiver had 48 yards.
Tamu had 2 fumbles, and App State had the ball for 41 minutes and 29 seconds.
Oh, they dominated time of possession.
Holy shit.
Dominated. So there's really nothing that Texas A&M can do. I feel like they really came in and thought that they were hot shit, and Appalachian State had to correct that, and they definitely did. I mean, both of the most impressive wins this week have been Appalachian State and Marshall, right? So Marshall was also another small town team that traveled to Notre Dame and took it to the Irish.
Yeah.
Nobody expected it.
364 total yards for Marshall, 351 for Notre Dame. Marshall lost out on the passing yards, but they had 219 rushing on Notre Dame.
Oh,
I mean, close game. When you look at the stats, it looks like a close game, but it was.
It really wasn't, because I mean, any team that you comes into your house and does you dirty like that, like there's. My goodness, like
Marshall was manhandling Notre Dame, honestly.
Well, yeah, because I mean Notre Dame was they went into it. I feel like another team that goes in that's like, they were ranked number 5. They went in with too much expectation of what they were going to do, so now they've lost to Ohio State and Marshall, and they've been summarily executed from the playoffs. Just got their heads chopped off because. I mean, you look at the score, 26-21. I mean, they beat them by 5. I mean, they beat them by a touchdown. It wasn't like a field goal. They needed a touchdown to win, and they couldn't do it.
Yep.
Marshall's Thundering Herd is now 2-0. Notre Dame Fighting Irish is 0-2.
Oof.
And they've lost at home
to
Marshall.
Dame.
That's a tough pill. And I mean, I feel bad for the coach. He's a new coach. He's getting acclimated to the people that are there, but my God, you can't. How do you lose like this at home? Like, I don't think this is a recoverable thing.
No. Wisconsin lost to Washington State, knocking them out of the top 25.
Yeah, Wisconsin. And Wisconsin was a bit of a paper tiger for me. So when you look at Wisconsin, like yes, they've had some great teams, but for the last couple of years, they haven't really been able to prove anything. And I don't think they are the team that we rank them as consistently. And I mean, I think it's said for a lot of Big Ten teams, people say that, but I think Wisconsin for sure is one of those teams where everyone expects them to do well just because of the division they're in and what
Right.
part of the Big Ten they're in. But I, it's just if they're not good, they're not good. They either have excellent years or they have terrible years. No real middle ground there. So I'm not surprised by that.
Iowa proved that they do not belong in the top 25, nor are they going to be a powerhouse this year with their loss to Iowa State.
Oh, they're rivals. They're in-state rivals. Iowa lost to Iowa State in week 2. Their season's over.
Yep.
That's a huge game for them usually. Usually happens middle of the year. But having it this early and losing, it's going to demoralize that entire team. And they've proven that they don't belong in the top 25. And I really don't have anything more to say about them. It's Iowa.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
BYU pulled out the win against Baylor.
Oh, the Mormon boys.
They pretty much switched spots in the
Yeah,
top
pretty
25.
much. Yeah, yeah. Because Baylor lost by 6 points. I mean, BYU, they're a good team, I guess. I mean, I'm not really one to follow BYU as much. Baylor, everyone knows because they've had some fantastic seasons in the past. But they're not really known as powerhouses either. But they really, yeah, they've really struggled against BYU. The score is deceptive. When I was watching the game, BYU was pretty much manhandling them at the line.
Yeah.
And Baylor was just trying to get as many points as possible to do what they can. But it was kind of back and forth for a little bit. Yards, everything, they're pretty even. BYU had more passing yards.
Yep.
So that probably helped them a lot when it comes to moving against the defense. And, it was at home. They had to do it. And they did. Boys in blue.
I guess now we can talk about our team. So you can talk about Michigan if you want.
Sure. The Michigan Wolverines went ahead and de-pantsed the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And that is their team, gentlemen, the Rainbow Warriors. Yeah, it was nothing much to say about that game, dude. It was just another one of those, the college football is kind of boring in the first four weeks, unless some kind of upset happens that nobody's expecting. Because the first 4 weeks, most college teams are playing schools that really don't have any business being on the field with them. And that's kind of the excitement of these unprecedented losses. So overall, I mean, they went in and it was domination from beginning to end. I mean, by the time it was like the fourth string players in, I guess like the Hawaii Warriors were able to rainbow their way into the end zone, but the final score is 56-10. I really hoped for a shutout because I wanted to have a shutout the same week that Michigan State did, but you got to let the younger guys play. And there's no point in looking at shutouts over giving these guys experience.
That's fair.
JJ McCarthy, without a doubt, the starter for Michigan Wolverines. I think he cemented it. He played 2 quarters, and in those 2 quarters, he was 11 of 12 for 229 yards, 3 touchdowns. 11 of 12. 1 missed throw. Blake Corum is turning out to be our starting running back. He's doing really well, and then he's backed up by Edwards. And then we have Ronnie Bell, and we have a plethora. I think he passed to like 3 different receivers for those touchdowns. It wasn't just like one receiver over and over again. So he's spreading the ball around, and we have, I think, a very good offense. Defense, I'm still a little worried about because we don't really know what's happening there. But defensively, I think Michigan can hang, but I think they will need to get better if they want to compete with like Ohio State or Michigan State.
Yeah, so Michigan State, Peyton Thorne, it is what it is. I mean
let's say what it is. I mean, you want to read the stat line out from Peyton Thorne?
18 and 28, 212 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, so that's not the guy. But your boy Kim came in and played a game.
2 for 2. He needs to go up against Thorne in practice is what he needs to do. He needs to do a challenge. But
was Kim only 2 of 2 for 2 touchdowns?
2 of 2 for 22 yards and 1 touchdown.
1 touchdown. Okay. Well, I mean, it's better than no touchdowns, but yeah. So, I mean, that game was entirely reliant on Akron fumbling the ball and basically the running game.
Yeah, Akron
Yeah.
fumbled what 4 times, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
ouch.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's hard.
hurts.
That hurts. Yeah, you're not winning games with 4 fumbles.
I
I'm
think it
assuming Michigan took
shows.
all of them, or Michigan State took all of the
I
fumble return.
believe so.
Yeah.
It shows a lot for Michigan State's defense, though, right? So, I mean, we've had weaker offenses where we went the distance because we had a strong defense, right?
Hmm.
In recent history. So it'll be interesting to see what our defense can do as we get into these tougher challenges. We have Washington Huskies at Washington next week. So,
Yeah, and that is a sleeper team. Washington, they generally get shellacked when it comes to, oh man, I keep saying shellacked. What am I, Irish now? Like they usually get beat. But it's just, you never know. They can be competitive. Um, Something said pisses them off, especially with the week we just had. I mean, I don't think there's any game that's a guarantee if a team comes to play.
so
And
my feelings is, Michigan State 52-0. Michigan State undefeated right now. Michigan undefeated right now. They're both looking okay, pretty good. Um, you guys play UConn next week, right?
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah, yeah, I
that's
wouldn't
not
even.
really a test, I wouldn't say for you
No,
guys. Now for
no,
us, Washington, I think will be a test. It'll be interesting to see how we come out of it. I
yeah.
think if Michigan State can take the win for Washington, I think we'll be undefeated up until you guys.
Yeah, I mean, oh, are you going to be though?
I think
You
so.
got to get through Ohio. You
Minnesota,
got to get through Ohio State to get to us.
we do?
Yeah,
Oh.
you play at Ohio State, but after Maryland, then Wisconsin, then us. I didn't realize this. This is
Oh,
a
I didn't
terrible
either.
idea. Why would they do this? Why would you put Ohio State before Michigan?
So I think if we can beat Washington, I think we can definitely beat Minnesota. I think
Hmm.
Maryland will be interesting.
Maryland kicked the other team's
Yeah,
ass. Like they were flying around. I mean, it was Charlotte. I mean, don't get
yeah.
me wrong here. They weren't playing an SEC team. They beat them 56-21, and then they beat Buffalo 31-10. They got SMU, then they have us, and then they play you.
I think okay, here's what I'm gonna say. So if we beat Washington, I think for sure we beat Minnesota. I think we beat Maryland because we're excited for Ohio State,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we want to show them what we're made of. We lose to Ohio State. I think Wisconsin is a coin flip based off of
Okay.
how they take the loss to Ohio State,
Okay.
and then us, and then you guys. So
Okay. As you see it now, who do you think takes the fight? Michigan or Michigan State?
as I see it now, Michigan. But if Michigan State, by some miracle of the Lords, beats Ohio State and Wisconsin back to
If y'all beat
back,
Ohio State,
you guys are screwed,
we'll
man.
be scared.
Because
If you beat
literally,
Ohio State, we'll be like, oh, we gotta
even if
start.
it's an ugly win, those kids will be so freaking high on life, dude. You guys won't stand a chance.
Oh
You're gonna
my.
have like they're gonna think they're gods walking into your stadium.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing. So if you beat Ohio State, I mean that tips the ball. Because once you beat Ohio State is no longer in contention to be in the top four anymore. And usually
True.
Ohio State will play one other team that will kind of take him to the wire.
As a matter of fact, if Michigan State did play that, I think will go undefeated and they end up beating Ohio State, I think Michigan State is in the top four.
Michigan State would take Ohio State's place,
Yep.
I think. Yeah, if you beat Ohio State and Ohio State is number 3 still when you fight him, it would be a travesty if they didn't. Because I mean, how are you not going to put them in the place of the team they just beat?
So I think if that's the game, Michigan State would be number four. I
Mhm.
think it would be Georgia between Georgia and Alabama, 1 and 2, whatever,
Yeah.
however they do that. Um, and then it would probably be oof. It'd be a tough one, man. It could be anybody for number three. I mean, Arkansas is doing really good right now. I don't know what their schedule is though.
Yeah, I mean, so we took a look. We took a look at the schedule for some of the big four, the top four teams, right? And we look at them. We don't see anything that is even threatening them when it comes to an undefeated season. They
No.
don't. They don't have anybody on that team for the year that's even threatening them. I mean, they play Florida and Arkansas. I mean, you have Alabama's schedule is a laughing stock because
Man, dude, yeah, there's so
they're
many
fighting some
ways.
team called like the PV something, like they're just like unknown team. So
There's
I
so
think the
many
biggest
ways.
benefit for you guys to beat us, even if you lose to Ohio State, I think the benefit you're going to have as MSU is you will already have played a top four team before coming to our house,
True.
right?
I think even if Michigan State loses to Ohio State but beats you, we stay in the top 10 easily. Because
Yeah.
we're 11. We're
Oh, you'd
11
be in the
right
top
now.
10 for sure. Yeah. Yeah. There's no way they would, if you beat us but lose to Ohio State, I think you would still be in the top 10.
Hmm.
Um, so, I mean, so far we've beat every team by at least 50 points, right?
Yep.
We have UConn next. We have Maryland, Iowa, Indiana, Penn State, and then Michigan State. The only group in there that would even consider as a good like warm up or good team to play against before is going to be Penn State, but it's not the same caliber of Ohio State, right?
No.
So for you guys, I mean, I don't think it's likely that you guys will come to the Michigan undefeated, but if you do, that's a different story altogether.
You're right.
And everything gets tossed up in the air at that point. So then if you beat Ohio State and then we beat you, but then we lose to Ohio State, we actually don't lose that much
True.
at the end of the year because you got Ohio State got beat by Michigan State, we beat Michigan State, then Ohio State. So everyone, we just have a four-way gangbang of one losses.
Oh, crazy. Wisconsin plays Ohio State. Uh wow, this is crazy. So Michigan State, Wisconsin, Ohio State play each other within like the 24th and the 1st in October 1st.
Yeah.
Like that little rigmarole there.
Mm-hmm.
That wow, that's a lot actually. So
Yeah, I mean, and they're playing at your house, Ohio State.
yeah,
Ohio State is playing in your house, so you have home field advantage.
so Wisconsin
Um,
has to go to Ohio State
yeah,
before we go to them,
yeah,
or before they come to us. I mean, sorry.
yeah.
So let's say Wisconsin loses to Ohio State the week before they're supposed to come to us,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 weeks before they're supposed to come to us. Or yeah, the week before they're supposed to come to us. Sorry, and then they get their butts whooped. Let's say, which is probably what'll happen.
Yeah,
We beat Ohio State, then we go against Wisconsin. They're gonna be scared out of their pants. That'd be crazy.
that would be insane. I mean, our yeah, I mean, we as Michigan fans, we're gonna pray that you guys get your ass kicked by Ohio State, and then we can face them in the
Hmm.
final. But it's either gonna you guys are gonna get your ass kicked, and you're gonna be so pissed, and you're gonna take it out on us, or you guys are gonna win, and then you guys are gonna be bold to take it out on us. So it's a lose-lose situation either way.
I know.
As
I
it
feel bad
sits,
for Iowa.
Iowa, yeah,
You hurt
Iowa's
them.
yeah, no, Iowa's done.
Yeah, you got Penn State. I mean, that's all you got.
Iowa will never recover from the beating Michigan put on it in the Big Ten title game.
Nope.
That was we absolutely destroyed them in the Big Ten title game, and I think that coach has lost all his heart in terms of fighting, because like they have an easy schedule to get to the Big Ten title, and then they still end up losing. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, so who do you think is gonna be top four come week
Win.
12?
Week 12?
Yeah,
Like I said, it's going to be a flip between Georgia and Alabama
yeah,
for 1 and 2.
okay.
I think Ohio State's still going to be there, honestly. I
You
really
think so?
do. Yeah.
You think
And
it's
then,
possible for it to be Ohio State or Michigan and Michigan State?
no, I think it's either going to be Ohio State or one of us.
No, no, no. That's what I meant. Like it's either going to be Michigan or Michigan State. So you'd have two Big Ten and two SEC,
Possibly.
possibly.
The only way I can see it changing is if one of these other teams that are like creeping up slowly that haven't been
Just start ramping
good in
up.
a long time, yeah, like
Yeah.
Arkansas or Um, I gotta look. Sir, no, but I don't.
Arkansas, I mean, is 10. They're 2-0, but who have they played? South Carolina and Cincinnati. I mean, we don't really know much about them. They'll get a crack at Texas A&M and then Alabama in week 5.
So there you go. So let them beat Texas A&M. Feel good about it, and
If they're
then
competitive with Alabama, they could go even higher.
yeah. Um, Kentucky.
Okay.
We'll see what Kentucky does. I think Southern California gets their ass kicked by somebody here shortly.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma and USC are kind of pretending to be there
Yeah.
because really, I mean,
Clemson. I don't know. I'd have to
I
look at
think I
Clemson's
think the ones that
schedule.
are going to take down Oklahoma and their schedule is going to be Texas. I think Texas is going to have a legitimate chance to take down the Sooners because they're playing Kansas State next, TCU, and then Texas. Well, actually, Nebraska, Kansas State, TCU, and then Texas. And I low key think Texas is better than most people give it credit for.
I do.
They
Yeah.
took Alabama to the ringer. Like they went down the wire with Alabama, and that is not something that a lot of teams can say they did. I think Auburn is the only one that's consistently done that.
We'll see what Clemson does in the next 3 weeks. So they have an easy week coming up with LA Tech, Louisiana Tech. But then they got to take on Wake Forest, who's 19 right now, and they
Mm-hmm.
got to take on NC State, which can be scary for
What is
them.
Oklahoma State doing in the top 10?
Mm,
They beat
playing.
Central Michigan by 58-44. They let Central Michigan score 44 points on them. And then Arizona State scored 17 on them, and they only beat them by like 17 points. What are they doing in the top 10?
It's who knows
They
what
got
it is.
AR Pine Bluff. What kind of name is AR Pine Bluff? Golden Lions. Bro, what kind of stupid shit is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so Oklahoma is State is a definitely, I think, a pretender. I don't
Yeah.
think they're material for top 10.
No.
No, I would put Miami in top 10. I think that they can hang. Because I mean, I just see something in them that I feel like they're not just. I mean, they haven't really played anybody crazy, but I feel like they have something in them.
Well, they were kind of itching for it last year, if I remember, or maybe 2 years ago, if I remember
Mm-hmm.
correctly, and
Yeah.
they kind of got their asses whooped by somebody, and then everyone just disowned them. But
Yeah, I mean they so like
Miami's been working
Kentucky
towards it. So,
Kentucky deserves to be there because they beat Florida
oh
when they were
fuck yeah,
12.
they
Yeah,
do.
Kentucky deserves to be there. They're not a pretender, I don't think.
No,
Arkansas
Kentucky
deserves to be
scares
there.
me this year. Actually, I don't even know where the fuck this came from.
Yeah, I
Kentucky's
mean,
never been a football school.
yeah, not
Kentucky's way
really.
more of a basketball school.
Honestly, I would take out Oklahoma State and put Michigan State where Oklahoma State's at. That's where I would rank it.
Well, you know what though? I'm so used to it, man. From Michigan State just getting shit on all the time for no reason. Like it happens every fucking year. Excuse my
Yeah, there's
language.
some kind of there is something that even I notice as a Michigan fan. Michigan State doesn't get the respect that it deserves.
No, they just keep treating us like second class citizens because they think we're gonna screw it up. And it's like, man,
They took away my rights. They ain't giving me no water.
because if we had any kind of reputation, like hell, even Clemson. God, remember when Clemson sucked? And
Mm-hmm.
now they're good all of a sudden, and now they have everybody riding their bandwagon, and they get to the top four without even trying. Basically, they're five right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are. We're playing the games. They're not hard games. Not saying they are, but you didn't have hard games either, and you're freaking number four.
No, I mean the Clemson, the highest ranking person they have on their r- schedule is Miami at 13.
Well, that's way down for their games though.
Yeah,
They have Wake Forest and NC State. NC State's I think is going to rip through Clemson.
you think so?
I think people are going to be surprised, bro. NC State has been building their program for the past at least 3 or 4 years. Like to be
I
where they're
mean,
at right
I
now.
guess we'll see against Texas Tech because I mean these guys they beat East Carolina by 1 point and they beat Charleston Southern by 55-3. I mean they've got Texas Tech, UConn, and then Clemson. I mean I think NC State's kind of a pretender.
They're
but we'll
not.
see.
I
We'll see
promise
next
you they're
week.
not. Wolfpack, baby. Oh.
Oh, they have the derpiest wolf pack too. That's not even.
No, it's not
That's not
good.
good. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have our idea of what it's going to be. Of course, some teams got executed off this list. They are no longer allowed. They've been sent to the shadow realm, and that's where they will
Oh
reside.
yeah. I'm happy that like Notre Dame is gone. Get out of
Yeah,
here. You're done for the year. Just
you lose to Marshall, your season's over.
play your
Nobody's ever taking you
games. Be
seriously. It's
done with
done.
it. Iowa by Wisconsin. We'll see. I mean, maybe it just was a bad game. They might be able to get to the top 25 again.
No, AP 25. Listen to me. Put Marshall 25.
I
Put
know.
Marshall on the AP top
Actually, yeah, I
25.
wanted to complain about this. I forgot. So Oregon got 25
Yeah.
instead of Marshall. And I think the only reason was because they're playing BYU and they wanted two ranked teams to play each other this week. And let's be real, BYU is 12,
Mm-hmm.
Oregon's 25. Oregon's going to get their crap stomped in.
Yeah, I mean,
Guaranteed.
we'll see. Like I said, BYU, they did a good job and they beat a decent team, but I mean, really, it just depends on, they played Baylor and Oregon's. Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. Now that I think about it, I think BYU is going to have a field day with Oregon.
Yep. And then
I think that's what it's going to be.
Oregon's
Yeah.
going to get kicked out and Marshall will get 25 or 24 because I'm going to assume they're
Marshall
going to win
better
their
be
game.
ranked. If they win this week,
Yeah, they
which they
better be
should,
ranked.
and Oregon loses, Marshall better be ranked. Give those guys a break. They
And
did something
then,
ridiculous.
so yeah, Marshall was next in line to be ranked with the most votes. App State was third in line to be ranked.
That
Here's
would
the
be
problem, though.
crazy.
I know, but here's the problem, though. Both of those teams now are out of their little. You get to play your pity games,
Mm-hmm.
and now they just got to play in their conferences, which are double
Yeah, but
A.
what does it hurt to put them in the top 20? It doesn't affect the playoffs. It doesn't
No,
affect
but
any of
when you
those.
look at strength of schedule, that's the problem, right? And
Yeah, I mean,
Does App State deserve it because they lost to North Carolina, even though they beat TAMU?
North Carolina's not a terrible team. It's not like they're
Mm.
playing a peewee team.
And
Like
it was close. I mean,
yeah,
it
it was a
was
close
close.
game, and they were throwing hands. Like, and then the next week, instead of getting dejected, they went in and took care of business at another school.
True.
So what are
No,
you gonna say?
I'd really like to see Marshall end the year 15.
That would be crazy. I
That
don't
would.
think they're gonna go that high. I think they'll be within the 20 to 25 range the whole year.
Oh, if they go undefeated, you think?
Yeah. Yep. If they go undefeated, they're gonna go and they're gonna do the whole "we want Bama" bullshit, and then no,
No.
that's a bad idea. We're not sending you to your execution. Okay, we're not doing
Nah,
this right now.
I could see. I think if Marshall goes undefeated, I would say 15 to 20 range.
15 to 20. Okay,
Yep.
you got a higher guess than that, which makes sense. All right, so let's move on to NFL and the team that hurts us the most. Even stepdaddy does not hurt us like this.
He doesn't. I
No,
can attest.
the Lions. Oh my goodness. What is there to say? I mean, for those of you guys listening, I don't know if you've ever felt what a Lions fan feels.
No,
It's utter and
they
absolute
haven't.
hopelessness. I don't think there's a single team in the NFL that has been this hopeless ever. And I mean, I've looked up all the history of the teams. Like the Lions used to be a great team when they first started, right? Before the Super Bowl era, they were champions multiple times. They had crazy good players. And now it's an event, right? The Lions game is not something exciting that you wait for on Sunday. It's turned into something where you turn on the TV, you do house chores, you come back, you see if something's changing the score, and you walk away. How sad is that? Please tell me. Please comment and let us know if you think your team hurts you more than our team hurts us. Let me know why, and I will try to console you, and I will try to teach you why you are wrong. We will watch a Lions game together, and you will see the life
pain.
slowly drain from me, and you will understand the pain that it is. Because You might look at the score and say 38-35. That was a competitive game. Yeah. Well, guess what? It's the score is lying to you. It was competitive up to the second quarter, and after Jalen Hurts realized that he had legs and that he could run away from people, the game was pretty much over. And once you're up 14 to 17 points, then all of a sudden you pushing your safeties back, you're just stopping deep shots, and you're letting them just grind points and do what they need to. And that's basically what happened. But when it came to the end of it, I don't think this was a competitive game whatsoever.
No.
I
And
I can't think of a single team that I wouldn't rather have over the Lions. Like, I just can't. The embarrassment of 0-16, the embarrassment of having unbelievably talented players play for us, do nothing here, get hurt, and then retire.
yep.
Our quarterback went to another team and he became a Super Bowl champion. Just to tell you the caliber of players that we've had here. And we got, Jared Goff.
Golf.
Goff. Like, if that explains as a person who he is the last name Goff. The sound of somebody throwing up. That's what we have as quarterback. This bum can't do anything. Our defense is actually exciting to watch, I think. I mean, like, I wonder, can you guys hear the pain in my voice? Like, is that coming through to you? Like, do you guys understand? Like, I don't want to cry on a podcast, man. This sucks ass. This really does. I was hoping for a win first and give me something to feel excited about. As a Michigander, that's what we call ourselves because we reside in the state of Michigan. Those of you who are foreign to the United States wondering why we call ourselves that. College football is really all we have, isn't it?
For us, yeah.
Yeah, we just have college football. NFL is kind of just that thing where we watch like the good teams play and then that's it. We don't have any personal stake in it.
Nope.
Ever since I moved to this country in 2001, I've been a Lions fan. And every year they've hurt me. And usually in more and more emotional damage each year. It doesn't come as just like a punch. It comes in like a 12 hit combo over the course of the year. And yeah, I'm not excited. I'm not excited. There are other teams I'm excited about. There are other players I'm excited about. You can do all the Hard Knocks interviews and rah-rah that you want, but until you start showing me that you guys can actually play, who knows? And you might have your chance. You've got the Washington Commodores coming next week. This, like, their identity crisis might be just the thing that you guys need to catch a win. So we'll see what happens there. If you lose to the Washington Commanders, I refuse to watch the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
So
if they lose, it's over for me.
The Commanders, I saw some videos from the stadium when people went there last week. They had they had coffee mugs that they had made with the new logo and everything. The problem is the background of the coffee mug was the state of Washington.
Oh no. Oh no.
And for those who are unfamiliar, the Washington Commanders are called that because they're in Washington, D.C. Not the state.
District of Columbia, not the state of Washington. They have their own team, which is a lot better than that. They don't want the Commanders in their team. Like, oh my God. Somebody in the PR department needs to get fired. Whoever's in marketing was doing some LSD. Oh my God. So, yeah, if we lose to that team, they can't even print the right location on a mug. I'm done. And the Lions, I don't care what you do the rest of the year. I don't care. Even if you go undefeated the rest of the year, I just won't watch it. That's going to be the sad part. I'll watch another team. I'll watch somebody else. I'll root for another team. Hey, we got plenty of teams. We got 32 other teams in the NFL I can root for. I don't need you.
Otherwise, so last week, Vikings spanking the Packers.
That was out of left field for me. That was really out of left field because the thing about everyone predicted that the Packers would have one of the best defenses in the NFL. And the Vikings just came in and just destroyed a lot of people's
Yeah.
fantasy football picks, including mine. Thank you so much. Nobody expected Kirk Cousins and his 17 children to score that many points on. Well, I guess it's not fair for Kirk Cousins. That's Philip Rivers, but yeah, nobody expected that. I don't
No.
think anybody fully went into that game and thought Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it could be the ayahuasca that he's been smoking every day to clear his mind and get him into. I mean, maybe he just wasn't seeing clearly. He
Could
was
be.
just too stoned. But that defense let through enough points to win, and the Vikings defense didn't allow him to do anything.
Yep.
And you know what?
More
First
power
week can
to
ruin
you.
a lot of. Yeah, absolutely.
Vikings take on the Eagles this week. That'll be a good one.
That'll be a good test to see how good the Eagles are.
Yep.
I think that's going to give me a gauge of did we compete with one of the best teams in the country, or are we middle of the pack or end of the pack still, right?
Right.
If the Vikings beat them, then we know that, and depending on how they beat them, we know we can kind of gauge how good the team is.
Right.
Do I think they're going to beat them? Maybe,
Yeah, I don't know.
because the biggest difference that they're dealing with Jalen Hurts, because he hurt us with his legs really badly. And it was just basically we'd get him down to 4th and long, and then he would just find a hole and just no QB spy, nobody really doing it. The receivers would sweep across and move everybody to one side, and then he would just take a 15-yard run.
Yeah.
And if he can do that with the Vikings, I mean, sure, but they have a very mobile team, and they have a very mobile linebacker core, and they have very gigantic linebackers, and their safeties and corners can move. So maybe we'll see.
The Bears take on the Packers this week as well. So,
Bears are 1-0. Packers are 0-1. And Bears have seen the formula of what they need to do to beat Aaron Rodgers. So it'll be interesting to see. They beat San Francisco last week. We still don't know if San Francisco is a contender or if he's a pretender. So seeing how well they dismantled the Packers, it could be a possibility that either the Bears come out and they know the secret and they just exploit the same things that they did, or an Aaron Rodgers just comes out on a coke bender and just wails on these guys and just starts throwing. He just switched from his ayahuasca to coke. He's like, you know what? I'm sick of this, and he just starts
I gotta
cocaine
win.
field bender. I gotta win.
And then Buccaneers versus Saints. That'll be a good one too.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Tom Brady for life. I don't care. I don't even care what you say to me. If the Bucks are playing and Tom Brady's the quarterback, I'm gonna root for them and I'm gonna expect them to win. Simple as that. He's the GOAT. Your defense doesn't matter. Your secondary doesn't matter. Your offense doesn't matter. Because it's Tom Brady. Deal with it.
It is Tom Brady.
He's the god of football now, isn't he? He's basically just like a mythical figure. He's like Hercules to a lot of these people.
I really just want him to retire, honestly.
No, dude. I got to get one of his jerseys before he retires. I was going to get a Tampa Bay jersey last year.
Oh.
A Tampa Bay jersey for Brady, dude. I want to get one. I have a Stafford one. I want to get a Tom Brady one. I was a little too late for Eli or Peyton Manning. Fuck Eli. When nobody wants an Eli Manning one. Depending, Joe Burrow is. We'll see. They lost last week.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see if he can come back from that loss. But yeah, anytime that Tom Brady's playing, I'm just gonna assume that team's winning, even if they're down 28 points. Tom Brady's winning that game.
Fair. Can't argue with that.
No. So what do we think for picks for next week? In terms of like, who do you think is what's a must watch for you?
Kind of a weird week next week.
It is, isn't it? Not much in terms of like excitement that we can think of.
No, I mean Bears Packers is always fun.
Yeah,
just cause,
divisional.
Yeah.
Do you remember divisional games being this early in the year?
No.
It seems weird, right?
Seems very weird. Seems like
Yeah.
they're trying to spread it out more.
Maybe, yeah, maybe giving more time so that way that's not like back to back to back divisional games.
Yep.
Because usually the first 4 to 5 weeks you're going to be playing people from AFC, NFC, and different conferences. But yeah, we're getting right into the nitty gritty. It seems this year.
Yep.
Oh, the one team I forgot to talk about, Miami.
Yep.
Miami is a contender this year, I believe, with Tua and Tyreek Hill and what they have set up. I mean, they beat New England 20-7. They only allowed one touchdown, and that's against Bill Belichick's offense.
Hmm.
And they scored 20 against his defense. So watch out for
Fear the
Miami.
Dolphins.
It's the year of the Dolphins. We had a rare but unfortunate 20-20 tie,
Yep.
which is very unfortunate because usually when the ties happen like that, it doesn't help you. It's actually more detrimental. You think that it's a wash, but it's not. It's more of a detriment to you at the end
Yep.
of the year than it is anything. So, I mean, Indiana and Houston are basically playing with 17 games instead of 18. And that's what they're going to be judged on.
Yep.
What do we have? I think that's about it for last week. But next week, I think for sure the Eagles Vikings is going to be the game to
That'll be
watch.
big too. Yeah.
That's the
That'll be a
Monday
good
night
one.
game. Weirdly, Monday night is a doubleheader. So if
Yep.
you wanted to watch the Bills and the Eagles, it's not going to be possible. I guess you could watch it on the phone and
The
on the
Bills should
TV.
beat the Titans, so don't worry about that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe. They might get a little too full of themselves after they beat Los Angeles Chargers.
Maybe.
Or not the Chargers, the Rams. I don't think the Rams are going to be any good this year.
Nope.
Usually after a Super Bowl win, most teams do not do well the next year. They either haven't practiced hard enough or, people have figured out what they were doing and kind of figured
From
out
all
the
the
antidote
partying
for it.
after the Super Bowl.
At least they didn't go Odell Beckham style, but they did. Yeah, it's just either they're going to take a little bit longer to get to where they need to be to be competitive. And another game that I think was absolutely interesting to watch was the Russell Wilson Broncos playing against the Seahawks, man. That was crazy. It was crazy to watch Russell Wilson come out onto the Seahawks field and get booed. That was the craziest thing. This guy brought you a Super Bowl. Who are you booing? But,
The guy that left
unfortunately,
us.
yeah, oh, so sad. Unfortunately, the Seahawks did win. I kind of wanted them to lose. But they won against the Broncos 17-16. And I mean, the noise in that place, man. Even watching it on TV, it was insane.
Seahawks Stadium is the loudest stadium, I think.
Yeah, it's the Legion of Boom, right? And it was just like the 13th man, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in effect. I think that stadium is designed. And I mean, the only reason they won is because of a missed field goal. I mean, but it's, 64-yard field goal. It's not a normal thing to make. So we had some interesting games this year. This week is going to be a little bit slower, I think. A lot of people are going to see games. Definitely don't watch the Lions and the Commanders game, just in case they absolutely destroy us again this week. I know I'll be watching it while I do some cleaning.
Fair.
And that's all the attention they're going to get from me. And I refuse to pay for another game to go see the Lions lose unless I'm rooting for the other team that's coming in. So
Fair.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to be this negative, but if you've been through what we've been through,
It hurts.
you'd understand.
It hurts.
All right. You got anything else for us today, Gucci boy?
Nope. Kind of a lame week next week.
Yeah, it's a lame week next week, guys. We probably should have done this in the beginning, but I mean, this is going to be the first time you're going to be hearing us with our podcast here. And we wanted to talk to you guys and let you know what this is about. This is the sports section of Drunk with Questions. So we have our main Drunk with Questions channel where we kind of focus on topics around the world, things that we want to talk about. And this is just kind of a thing for me and Gooch to sit down and talk about sports because we both love football. Football's been a part of our lives for a long time. And it's just one of those things that we're passionate about. And especially come college time, he's an MSU fan. I'm a Michigan fan. During that week, there is no friendship.
No, I'm excited.
There's only animosity. And when our teams are going into the fight undefeated and we got all the stakes online, man, we are yelling at each other. We're dissing each other out. That's the fun that we look for. So if you guys have any opinions, anything we said that you guys want us to talk about, anything else you want us to cover, please let us know. Feel free to email us at drunkwithquestions@gmail.com or reach out to us via social media. We'll most likely post this along with the rest of our content, so that way you guys can kind of just see. We'll label it a little bit separate, so you see it's a sports one. We've got a new picture for this one, so it's visibly different from what you're going to be seeing from our other podcasts, so you won't ever worry about accidentally going to a sports one when you don't need to. So other than that, guys, thank you so much. I'll let Gooch have the final word.
Hey, thanks everybody for listening. If you're interested in non-sports topics, just feel free to listen to any of our podcasts. And yeah, keep playing. I don't know what else to say.
Keep playing. Yeah. Welcome to FanDuel. Keep playing.
Little Caesars.
No, guys, don't you do it. Don't you spend money on those.
That's haram. We do not promote gambling addiction.
Yeah, we don't promote gambling with this kind of stuff. Sports should be fun. It shouldn't be about making money. So
you should send your money to us.
Yes, donations at our OnlyFans page. Drunk with Questions, the
just
boys.
Us and Skippy.
Just talking about
college football wear.
we're just in our maid outfits talking about serious topics in our podcast. So that's gonna be a special episode. That's gonna be our 100th episode special.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you next time.
Peace.